Good afternoon. Phil Rigdon here, pastor of St. John Lutheran Church and School. It's a joy to be with you today, at least through this computer technology. A couple of things that we'll look at today is, first of all, this confusing notion in the Bible where Jesus comes and he says that I don't come to bring peace but a sword. And then we always know that he says, peace be with you. So how do we make sense of these two things? And how do we connect them together? So let's take a look at the word here, and we will open things up. There we go. Okay, now we're going to start here. So let me get this out of the way. This is Matthew chapter 10, and this is Jesus speaking. He says, "Not peace, but a sword. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law." In other words, Jesus is saying that he's not bringing peace, right? And the really key phrase there is, I have not come to bring peace. Well, how can that be? What's he's talking about? When Jesus came into the world, we know, to die on the cross and rise again so that we would have peace with God. How is this working, right? Part of the explanation we're going to look at is he says, I have come to set a man against his father, a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. So we know it's going to deal with relationships on earth, but why would why would he say, I'm going to come to set a man? Wouldn't all Christians be together? Wouldn't all families be Christians together? Isn't that what is going to happen? Let's take a look. Jesus continues that a person's enemies will be those of his own household. Whoever loves father and mother more than me is not worthy of me, and whoever loves his son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. All right, so Jesus is explaining this. He says there's going to be division even in a household. There will be division even in a household. And this is what he means. Whoever in a family loves their father and mother more than Jesus will, in other words, that's a sin, all right? You're not supposed to do that. And whoever loves their son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Now, what's going on here? Jesus is saying, he's not saying that you shouldn't love your father and mother. He's not saying that you shouldn't love your son or daughter. He's simply saying they cannot be as important to you as I am. They can't be as important to you as I am. And he's saying if they are, then you're not worthy of Christ, right? In other words, you cannot claim that you love Jesus and that he is your Lord if you love people in your family more than him. All right, now, why does that matter? We'll take a look. All right, just some illustrations here to point out. All right, we look at a family and we say families are supposed to love each other, right? Families are supposed to care about each other, value each other, and serve each other. But Jesus said that there's going to be division. Not only division because of sin and brokenness, but you're going to find that sometimes there'll be a father who's a Christian and loves the Lord most of all, but there'll be a wife who doesn't love Christ, and so there will be division, right? There will be a mother who loves Jesus Christ and puts him first, but she'll have a daughter or a son that does not love Jesus, and there will be division there. There'll be brokenness, right? Not because they hurt each other, but because there's a difference in priorities, right? That's one of the reasons why Jesus says that that do not be unequally yoked. He tells that to people who are going to get married. And what he means is if you're a Christian, you have to marry a Christian. And it doesn't have to be the same denomination, but if you're going to marry a Christian, if you're going to get married, you need to marry a Christian because your priorities will be completely different. The Christian has Christ and his kingdom as the greatest priority. The unbeliever doesn't. And so that's where the division comes. All right, let's take a look more and see what Jesus says. And whoever does not take up his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life in this world will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Very simply, Jesus is saying that if you're not willing to do anything that being a Christian requires, even death, right? You're not worthy of Jesus. Now, for most people, it won't require dying, but he's simply saying that if you're not willing to put Jesus first, even to death, that you're not worthy of him. And when he says find the life, what he means is if we look to this world to be fulfilled, if we look to this world as our highest priority, we're going to lose that life, and we will spend, we will spend eternity in hell if we don't love Jesus Christ. And he's saying that whoever is willing to lose their life in this world, right, for the sake of Christ, will have everlasting life, right? Now, this is what Jesus means by peace. He appears to his disciples as they were talking about things, and Jesus says, stood among them, and he said to them, peace be with you. So here, Jesus is talking about peace through forgiveness. We are at peace with God through Jesus Christ. We're not divided. He continues in another portion. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid. Again, that peace and forgiveness through Christ. And he's saying, don't look to this world to have peace. Find it in Christ. All right. Okay, let me open that up. I'm going to stop the share and wrap this up a little bit. So essentially what's going on here is he's not saying that we shouldn't have relationships or love other people. He is saying, though, that there will be division, right? There's going to be division between people who love the Lord and who don't, and there will be strife even at some times, right? And this is very applicable today as we look in our world. There is huge division between Democrats and Republicans. There's division about issues of race, about COVID, about religion, the issue of capitalism versus more of a socialist kind of a thing. So there's all sorts of division, and we're going to see that happen more and more as the world changes. But Jesus says you're at peace with God through me. Whatever happens in your life, be at peace, know that I love you, and know that you are connected to God and forgiven. Hopefully this has been a blessing to you, and we'll see you next time.